Welcome to the Preflight Checklist. Today's checklist is for sellers approaching closing. Almost every aircraft sale in the United States flows through one of the established title and escrow companies in Oklahoma City. Much like title companies in real estate transactions, these firms specialize in managing aircraft transfers of every type, from straightforward domestic sales to more complex transactions involving financing, trusts, or international buyers. Regardless of the aircraft or the parties involved, every transaction follows the same underlying structure, the escrow closing checklist. From a seller's perspective, this checklist is not bureaucracy for its own sake. It is the framework that ensures the aircraft can be conveyed with clear, marketable title and that funds are released correctly at closing. These are the 5 areas sellers should understand as the transaction moves towards completion. Number 1. Confirm the legal name on the bill of sale. The FAA bill of sale must reflect the exact legal name of the registered owner. Not a shortened name, not a trade name, not an abbreviation. The seller name must match the FAA registration records precisely. If the aircraft is owned by an LLC, corporation, or trust, the entity name must be exact. Even small discrepancies, like adding a single letter to an individual's name, can create a title cloud. Precision here protects both sides of the transaction, at closing and into the future. Number 2, understand the role of escrow. Escrow agents are neutral third parties. They do not represent the buyer or the seller, and they do not manage the deal on anyone's behalf. Their responsibility is to execute the closing checklist according to FAA rules and accepted industry practice. That means one important thing for sellers. Escrow will process the transaction, but they will not drive your timeline. If documents or approvals are delayed, the closing will wait. The parties themselves are responsible for keeping the transaction moving. Number 3, every file begins with the contract and the title search. An escrow process begins when the signed aircraft purchase agreement is delivered to the escrow company. This document provides the agent with key details of the transaction: the aircraft, the parties involved, the purchase price, and the basic terms. With that information in hand, escrow orders a new FAA title search to confirm the aircraft is free of liens or other title defects. If the aircraft qualifies for the international registry, an additional search may be ordered there as well, particularly when financing or existing liens are involved. This step establishes the foundation for the closing file. Number 4, be prepared to verify identity and ownership authority. Once the file is open, escrow will request identifying information from the parties. These requests are part of mandatory Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering requirements. Sellers may be asked to provide a driver's license or passport, contact information, or entity documents if the aircraft is owned through an LLC, corporation, or trust. While these requests can feel intrusive, they are required. If the escrow company cannot clearly identify the parties involved and verify the authority to sell the aircraft, escrow will decline the transaction. Number 5, review the closing statement and authorize the transaction. Once the inspection is complete and any price adjustments are resolved, the transaction enters its final phase. Escrow prepares closing statements detailing every incoming and outgoing dollar associated with the sale. As the seller, you should carefully review these numbers. Confirm commissions, invoices, lien payoffs, escrow fees, and your net proceeds. You will also pre-sign the FAA bill of sale, so escrow can file it immediately once closing is authorized. But even when every document is signed and funds are in place, the transaction cannot close without one final step: explicit authorization. Both parties must confirm that they approve closing. Until that authorization is received, no documents are filed, no titles are transferred, and no funds are released. From our perspective, while every closing checklist is tailored to the specific aircraft and transaction, the fundamentals never change. Escrow must have a valid contract, verified parties, executed documents, cleared funds, accurate wiring instructions, and final authorization. For sellers who understand these steps and remain engaged in the process, the closing checklist becomes less of an obstacle and more of a roadmap. Handled properly, it guides the transaction to a clean and efficient transfer of your aircraft. This has been the Preflight Checklist.